Call to order. Can those online hear me? I'm calling this meeting to order. Thank you. Is there anyone typing? Can anyone hear me online? No. Yeah. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Molly.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Actually, let me scratch that. I'm gonna make one small change to the agenda. It's just really small. On the topic 9, it will be an action item. So if we wanted to add that to the agenda, that's the only change I have. So let me ask then instead, is there a motion or any discussion around the consent agenda as amended? Any other discussion on the agenda?
I don't have it.
You don't have, you
Nope,
didn't get a
I
handout?
didn't get one.
Do we have one more packet for Olga? Thank you.
It's actually.
Is it inside the Bible?
Oh. Found it.
That part. Not the Bible.
Okay. Oh, yes, thank you.
Do you need a minute?
Nope.
I'm good. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended? I mean, not consent agenda, the agenda as amended. Sorry, we've been here all day. So let me start that sentence over. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Any seconds?
I second.
Any further discussion? Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion passes. I don't have any announcements today. I will say, be patient with us. We've been here since 9 a.m. So we're wrapping up our day. We are going to move on to public comments. You will have 2 minutes to speak. She already went over. You'll stand on the yellow line and address your comments to the board. We'll take up to 1 hour to hear comments. Please no noise or clapping during or between speakers. No inappropriate language. Be respectful of one another. And no playing of recordings or videos. When you come up, if you're not already signed up, I'll try to remind you to. If you haven't signed up ahead of time, we'll have you say your name, city you live in, and the topic you're speaking on. Go ahead.
Bring up Tiffany, followed by Jane, followed by Randy, starting with Tiffany.
Good afternoon, board, and thank you for having us here today. Thank you for allowing the community to share their concerns for our libraries. I've been coming to these meetings for over 2 years to speak against Drag Queen Story Hour in libraries. Although Drag Queen Story Hour has not taken place during that time, and many of us are grateful, what would be most grateful is that the board who oversees the operation of these institutions would find it imperative to write into regulation that Drag Queen Story Hour or the like be prohibited from ever happening again. This rule or regulation, whatever the term is used would benefit the children who come to these libraries, because these libraries are places where they choose to read and learn about many facets of life based on their terms. Sexualization of children is never anyone's right. Please continue to keep a balanced moral compass in our libraries. Thank you.
You said Jane next, right? Okay. Hello, I'm Jane Higgins, and I proudly live in Battleground. And on behalf of the Friends of Battleground Community Library, I want to be the last today to welcome you to our beautiful campus. We're especially fond of Dave Josephson and the maintenance people who help us keep this campus so beautiful. I have a gift from you from the Friends. This is a book called Peace Wins. It's a researched book and a publication of the Battleground Friends. And it tells who killed Chief Umtouch, the eternal mystery of Battleground. And it turns out that with a little research, the truth was at the Washington State University archives in Pullman. and with testimony from witnesses at the time. So I hope you'll enjoy this book. It's a gift from the friends and a shameless.
I'll make sure they get them.
Okay. And a shameless plug. They're on sale for $15 at Literary Leftovers across from Safeway. And thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak to you today. I respectfully ask you to adopt a policy to ban the drag queen story hours also. The ideology behind the drag queen story hour and the reason it is pushed specifically specifically to cause gender confusion in children. That is per the drag queen story hour website. The cause report was released in England, in Great Britain earlier this year, demonstrates that this is not the right ideology for our children. Those that champion gender confusion are causing harm to our children. That is one of the conclusions of the cause report. The cause report is a scientific report examining gender confusion in children and the so-called standards of care, gender confusion medical guidelines put forth by the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. The conclusion from the report: the majority of youth in England and America that claim gender confusion do so due to social causes, not due to long-term gender transition. The overwhelming majority of youth, especially girls, affirm their true gender as they grow out of this socially induced gender confusion. Mr. Rogers had it right when he sang a song that informed children that boys are boys from the beginning and will always be boys, and girls are girls from the beginning and will always be girls. Please align the library to promote the mental health and well-being of our youth, not to harm them. Again, I respectfully ask you to adopt a policy banning the drag queen story hours. Thank you.
Next up, you will have Gary, who will be followed by Bill, who will be followed by Jessica.
Again, thank you, board members, for your service. And please continue to err on the side of caution when it comes to programming for your most vulnerable patrons, the children.
Hi, my name is Cole Onstead and my pronouns are they, them. I'm here to speak in support of Drag Queen Story Hour as a genderqueer member of the library community. It was something adults said all the time. You'll change your mind when you're older. You never know what might happen. You'll feel differently one day. As if we teenagers knew so little about ourselves that we could wake up one day a completely different person. As if the person we are right now doesn't matter. That is a quote from Loveless by Alice Osman. You might be more familiar with her webcomic turned Netflix series, Heartstoppers. Opponents of Drag Queen Story Hour lament the damage done to children when they learn about gender identity. It seems to me that in their mind, children are impressionable lumps of clay to be sculpted and shaped accordingly. Yes, parents and community do shape a child's worldview, but ultimately a child is their own person, a person worthy of being taken seriously. Don't try to dismiss this with a straw man argument about believing the six-year-old pretending to be a dinosaur who tragically can't eat Brussels sprouts or wants to be a ninja pirate robot astronaut when they grow up. I'm talking about when a child says they don't like their haircut, a teen who says that they don't want to have kids in the future, a kid who finds the courage to stand up and say, my gender doesn't match what's on my birth certificate. Even if they change their mind, we should still treat the person they are right now with dignity and respect. Drag Queen Story Hour is a vital program that teaches kids about gender identity in an age-appropriate manner. Parents who do not approve of Drag Queen Story Hour do not have to bring their children to any Drag Queen Story Hour events. Please allow the staff of FVRL libraries to present Drag Queen Story Hour and have the district live up to the ideals espoused in FVRL Library's equity statement. Thank you for your service to the community.
My name is Jessica Cole, and I just want to say that I go to two of the different programmings that the library has. And one thing I really appreciate is that I have the option to go to online, and I really appreciate that. That's something that helps me to be able to get there. And out of these two groups that I'm part of, I really appreciate that. One is kind of a discussion group on LGBTQ topics. And so we're provided articles to read or videos to look at. And I really gain a lot from the participation or the comments from other participants in there, including some of your employees that show up as patrons. And the other group I'm part of, I typically read nonfiction. And so this is a lot of fiction. It has both in it. And so it's really expanding my what I would choose on my own. And there are LGBTQ characters in these books. And I really appreciate that these are options because otherwise I know I wouldn't read any of those books. And the discussion topic, it's kind of cool when I'm like, oh, I actually know a little bit about this. Like I've read about this or watched some of the videos, but again, it does broaden my perspective. And I just want to say thank you for allowing these programs to be happening. And it does help my personal growth and knowledge. So thank you so much.
Was that everyone? Great. Anybody online? No one this time, correct?
Margot.
Okay. So we've finished our people who have signed up. We're going to move on. If anyone wants to make a public comment now, I'll get right to you.
Okay.
That hasn't signed up already, we'll have you guys come up one at a time. And again, just say this time I haven't been having you do this, but we need to say our name, the city we live in, and the topic you're speaking on. Okay, go ahead and come on up.
Okay.
And I think you missed the beginning. You'll stand on this yellow line. There's no more microphone, and then it's recording up there. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Margot Logan. I live in Portland, right over the bridge, and Vancouver is my library. And so I'm donating another book, and this one is Finding Angela Shelton. And so I think one of the big issues we have forever in our country is the sexual abuse of children. And 1 out of 3 women have been sexually abused when they were children. And so Angela's story, she's an actress and a producer, and she did a road trip where she went and she found, forget how many other Angela Sheltons. And so she took a road trip and went to visit all of them. And out of all of them, the statistic of 1 out of 3 also applied to all the Angela Sheltons that she visited. She also has a YouTube video. She's done some movies and things like that. But she does have a YouTube where she helps and supports people who have been sexually abused as children. So it's my donation today. And it is a huge issue, the sex trafficking, the child trafficking, now the child labor, slave labor that's going on. Is so horrendous in our country. And it's like, how do we help those people heal? How do we save those children? And as a library, you have so many resources and books and things. So just even a book like this could help give somebody an uplift or know that there's resources that they could go and find. So fine.
Thank you.
It's hard to find the place.
Anyone else would like to come up? Anyone online?
I saw yes. Nope.
No? All right, I'm closing public comment. Thank you all. Next, we'll move on to the consent agenda, including the minutes from last month from 8/19/24. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
I second.
Any further discussion? Okay, I move this to a vote, please.
Aye.
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 Very good.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. We'll move to the report section. First will be the FVRL organizational report with Jennifer and Alicia.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah.
So I'm working on, I've been here almost 3 months. So still just getting out to all the library locations and just meeting with frontline staff and just seeing all the wonderful things that they're doing. So I'll just highlight a couple of things from the report around programming and community partnerships. Cascade Park was able to hold a back to school clothing swap. So this helps with families that might be having financial constraints to be able to swap with new clothes to get kids new clothes for back to school. They also just hosted a 5-minute teen film festival Friday night. So really trying to engage our teen demographic in creative ways. So that was really great. Goldendale recently partnering with the Senior Services Advisory Board to better understand. They were looking at accessibility of parks in the county, and through this found out that Washington State Parks has free passes for seniors and also for those with disabilities. So that was a really great thing that they can share with patrons and partner in that way. They also had the bookmobile at the Klickitat County Fair and Rodeo. That's always super fun for folks to be able to see the bookmobile at events like that. Just wrapping up a lot of the summer reading stuff. Ridgefield was partnering with the YMCA, doing lunches at Venus Park. They would typically take a craft, so that was really successful partnership. And then again, just teen demographic. A lot of our libraries have been doing teen escape rooms. Three Creeks just held one. So it was super fun and really successful, and the teens love that kind of stuff. So that was really great.
So normally I highlight some of the statistics, but you've been in a long meeting today. So unless you have questions, I'm going to say we're still doing well and pretty similar to where we were last month.
Any questions?
The only thing I would highlight then is under the foundation's update. Foundation isn't speaking today. We have our final days before our authors and illustrators dinner and auction, which is on Thursday, October 17th from 5:30 to 9:30. There is still time, everyone, to get your tickets for the largest fundraiser for the libraries. This fundraiser really helps provide and enhance programs and services such as Summer at Your Library, or the experience passes that are so popular. So if you can come, please do. If you want to come and you feel like the ticket price is too much, talk to us. We'll see what we can do. I don't know what we can do, but still talk to us. Because I'd love to see you there.
Okay.
And then the other thing I will highlight is our Woodland Community Library will be opening on Saturday, October 12th. Today, is it 6 o'clock yet? No. Today is their last day in their old building. So when they close, an end of an era will come, and they will, in the next 3 weeks, be moving and setting up the new library. I was there Friday. It is beautiful. And there's going to be so much excitement. So please come to the ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 12th at our new Woodland Community Library location. So many people have worked for decades on this. All of our friends at the library, many donors, our foundation, staff. It's just going to be a joyous occasion to actually realize this dream that people have had. So thank you, everyone that's been involved, and hope to see you there.
That's a good question.
Next up is Battleground Community Library Report with Holland.
Hello, everyone. Firstly, I just want to thank the trustees for allowing me to speak tonight. Thank you for having me here. My director for also supporting us in personal events in the community who are here. Happy to see you. Thank you for coming. I love to talk about the library. although maybe not in this environment, but that's okay. Okay, I'd love to talk about it. So my name is Helen Christie. I am the Battleground Community Library and the Yakult Library Express manager, and we shall begin. So firstly, I'd like to talk about my team, I think. I have a wonderful team. I have a wonderful supportive team. They are incredibly collaborative, creative. They are so invested in our communities, and I just really cannot do anything here without them. Here they are again. Yes, thank you. Thank you. They're pretty cute though. All right, so Battleground Community Library history. I do this every time. So those of you who've been with me a while, I'm sorry to bore you. But just to give you a little bit of history, in 1941, we came up here. We were served by the bookmobile. In 1944, we opened an actual branch. In 1959, we opened up on Main Street. You'll still remember that building. And then in 1981, we annexed the FVRL libraries. In 2009, we opened up this building that you're sitting in. And I absolutely love it. And it was a labor of love. That's a whole other story. But in 2019, we closed for a few weeks for a refresh. We got new carpet, new paint, furniture, and new sound kitchens. This is just us by the numbers. Numbers tell a story, but not the full story. Our population, this is just the city of Battleground. This does not include, say, Rush Prairie or Hawkinson. So the city of Battleground, the population is about 22,000. We have about 7,000 card holders within that area. We've had 293 programs, 124 roughish visitors, and 248,000 checkouts, which is significant. My other baby is the Yakult Library Express. This quirky little building opened in 2012, following the retirement of the Clark County Bookmobile. This building it's a historic building, obviously, so it served a variety of uses in Yakult. It was obviously a jail cell. For some, they may remember because they may have been locked up at some point. It also had a hotel. Oh, in the early years, that's not the building. Okay, in the early years of Yakult, we had a hotel, a hospital, and 7 schools. And really, isn't that the greatest, like, kind of mix-up of buildings too? I mean, honestly, why not? The saloons helped keep the cells operational, of course. It's open 7 days a week, just self-serve location, and staff are now on site 24 hours as a cell day, 24 hours a week. The rest are self. This is awesome. They have a population. Again, this is just the town of Yakult. This does not serve like Hyson or any of those other outlying areas. It's 1,670. We have about 797 cardholders. We had 110 programs, but I do want to point out that about 50% of Yakult has a card.
Yay.
Yeah.
We had 29,000 visitors and 33,000 checkouts. And I also want to say that those numbers rival many of our other libraries in the smaller districts. Okay, now we're going to talk about some programs. This is not all inclusive. I have a lot of programs that I'm not going to talk about. Just some of the bigger ones or some of the most noteworthy. Some of your libraries are always really, really big. So we had 1,500 people registered in Battleground and 227 registered in Yakima. The picture on your left is our field day program, and the one on the right is our reptile person. And I say that because I don't remember their name. We have so many reptile people coming up, and no matter who they are so popular. People love the reptiles up here. Snakes, lizards, they love them. Also, in Yakult, Yakult, Yakult also hosted the same program, and it was the same number of attendees. We usually get about, I would say 150 to 200 for these reptile programs. I don't know. Kids are weird. And then Angel Acacia, he's also very popular. And of course, getting a prize is a huge draw. So on the right, we have one of our lucky winners, and she got the bluey basket. She did ask me, where is bingo? But can't please everyone. So. Another incredibly popular program we offer, of course, is story times. I just have to say, my storytime team leaders, they are like they're famous in this area. So we have so many people come to our story times. We have 4 story times a week. Preschool, we average 55 people each. So that's 120 roughly a week. Babies, 19, and toddlers, 52. These are a couple more of my favorite programs throughout the year. In the top left, we had a K-pop program. We decided to take that throughout the district.
I think everybody knows what K-pop is.
I don't know. Yes.
Show of
I
hands.
thought she said.
Not everybody. Might.
Do you want me to do a song and dance?
Sure.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that. K-pop, Korean pop is very popular. They love it. And that was a huge
I heard
program.
cake pops.
Cake pops.
I heard cake pops.
It's pop. It's pop from Korea.
They're popular.
Got it.
It's Korean pop music.
That's what I thought. Like the two K-pop, they make them.
Got it.
Girl bands.
Yeah, too.
Super popular. Super popular.
And then we also had a Bridgerton tea, and we encouraged attendees to dress up in their finest Regency garb. And as you could see, most people did. Although I do like to point out the gentleman on the left because he looks less than thrilled, but did it. And he's very popular. And then on the lower left, we had a go program, and it was very, very popular as well. I'm laughing because I love miniature goats. I was really happy about that one. We also offer 3 book groups each month. So we have our adult book group here featured. These are a wonderful opportunity, of course, for people to read together and to connect. And then we have a lot of schools reach out to us for field trips. And so that was a field trip that we. On the top left here, we have a wonderful young lady who is very proud of her submission to the, I think it's semi-annual book art contest. And she was thrilled to get a prize. On the right there, upper right, is one of our Master Gardeners programs. We have so many attendees for these. Oh my gosh, they're so popular. On the lower left, we hosted a resource fair. And we had many community organizations come and just man a table and talk about the things they have to offer. And then in the lower right, we have our volunteer who's so lovely. And she offers our English conversation circles and just helps new English speakers kind of learn English, but it's not a structured program. It's just very casual. Another thing we did this year, which is awesome, we had a meditative labyrinth put on our lawn. That was installed just by one of my staff. I still don't know how she did it. I don't know how she made it so perfect. She's did an amazing job. And then on the right, we are showing our Audubon Society partnership where we took people out to look at birds. But this was done during the during the eclipse. So they were actually out there during the eclipse. And it was such a special program because not only did they look at birds, but they actually kept them. And then one of our most popular programs of the year is our Lunar New Year program. This was featured in the Reflector. I think this is our second year doing this. And we have hundreds of people filling space for this program. And it's just delightful. And I really, especially, if I can bring your attention up to the woman on your left, she is just having the time of her life. It was, it's really a very special program. Okay, so I've talked to you about the programs we've done, but we couldn't do it without my staff. And so I do want to give a shout out to my staff and the people who make this possible. Every month we have a staff meeting, and as part of that staff meeting, we do have to have a safety topic. And this slide shows our safety topic of the month. I don't know if you can guess.
Dancing with the fire
It was dancing with a fire extinguisher. Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was fire extinguisher training. Oh my Lord, they loved it. So I just want to show how much fun they can have in day-to-day activities. On your left is a group of volunteers that Sherry Braga with the district, she does an amazing job. And this is just one group that she coordinates with throughout the year. And this is the early, they strive to get kids involved in the workforce, especially those with disabilities. So that is those are our just volunteers. And then on the top right, it's just one of my staff who has a skill with making things really amazing. And so she did that. That is one of our displays. And then on the bottom right, we had a wonderful young gentleman, a young patron who came here very often, and he loved to ride his variety of motorized vehicles, and he loved to park next to the library van. And we loved it. We did ticket him. He did not care. Another thing my staff love is forest. So I wish we could show video because R2D2 there did talk to Sarah, who's working the desk. The amount of I don't even know the word. They just make these robots so real. It's insane. So we had R2D2, we had C3PO, we had, you guys know, who are those white guys? Yeah.
500 first.
They all came here. It was delightful. And we also hosted a program at the Prairie Tavern. And there's my colleague Summer having a very wonderful time introducing them. So as far as that, we have a lot of outreach events. This is just a handful of the things that we've done over the year, handful of the events and the people that we've talked to. Just so you can see it, but they absolutely love getting out in the community and talking with people and making connections and having a really good time. And then finally, my friends. There's Jane. My friends are so delightful and supportive, both Battleground and Yakult. The top picture is their video game sale. They had a vintage media sale that sold out. They didn't actually have to box anything up, and they were very thrilled about that. And they are so incredibly supportive of these. So thank you. Yeah. I'm just really grateful to be part of this community and to serve all these lovely people. That's what we're here for. So I thank you for giving me your time. And thank you.
You? Any questions?
Holland.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say thank you.
Oh.
It's always great to hear from you. You guys are doing quite a bit. Wonderful.
We try to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next, we'll move on to the business part of our meeting. First up will be the Facilities and Finance Committee. Did I skip you?
Yeah.
Oh, let's back up. Guess I'm in a hurry, huh? First, before that will be financial statements with Katrina. Thank you.
Oh, good afternoon. I think this agenda is never fair to me to go after these reports. These amazing, fun reports with K-pop programs and reptiles. Then I'm gonna tell you some numbers.
You need to bring us cake pops.
Yeah, I'll take note of that. Be careful what you wish for. Maria. So it has been a long day, and I'm gonna echo the first statement and keep July's financial statements relatively brief for you. If you have questions, absolutely make sure I address them for you. So page 52 is where we're going to start, and we're going to start. And something I'm going to say as well, we made some budget adjustments, budget amendments in a previous board meeting in July that are reflected throughout these numbers now. They hadn't previously been reflected based on the timing of the board amendments being adopted, but they are now reflected in your financials. So with that, our cash in July is about $815,000 lower than it was at the beginning of the year. So we're doing a pretty good job year to date managing our cash flow. Something else I want to point out for you, we talked a lot about the critical measure of the 60 to 90 days worth of operational reserves target. I know that we are currently exceeding that, which is great. And that the minimum amount was increased by the $400,000 that we talked about in previous months, as well as the budget amendment and earlier today when we evaluated reserves. We moved $400,000 from the Washougal project into operational reserves to cover the wage stipends. That is all I'm going to say on page 52, unless there are questions. Okay. Page 53, revenues. Overall revenues are meeting or exceeding expectations. Our property taxes are at 57%, which is what we would expect with the major payments coming in April and October. Our other taxes are exceeding year-to-date expectations, which is great. Our intergovernmental grants and contracts are a little bit below the 58% budget year. However, a lot of that has to do with timing, and so they're still meeting expectations. Under miscellaneous, we are exceeding expectations. And if we just look at the percentages, however, this is expected as well as we're getting a lot of woodland money in to pay for our woodland expenses as the project at this stage is ramping up, and now we're getting ready to start buttoning up all of those costs. Any questions on revenues before I move to expenditures? The good news with our operating expenditures is they are all meeting or exceeding our 58% year-to-date budget percent as well. We're right at about 50% for personnel and under 50% for supplies, just under 53% for books and materials, and 54% for other services and charges. So we are doing great in all operating areas. For capital outlay, we are above our percentage. However, just like with the revenues in that area, it's all about woodland and making sure that project is on track. So that is within our expectations. Questions on expenditures?
Thank you. Now we'll move on to Business, Facilities and Finance Committee.
So, as I mentioned earlier, as I neglected to remember, I had it separated here, but we'll talk about it again. The Woodland Community Library project is on track to have our grand opening ribbon come all, bring everyone you know. There's going to be lots of fun activities for all ages throughout that day, and then keep coming back after that too. The project is on target as far as budget. We are currently working through punch list items that often happen after all the major work is done, and working through them as well as all of the furniture and equipment being delivered. So all of the furniture is on site now, except for the service desk, which will arrive this week. And then as we close the old building today, movers will be coming on Tuesday to move collections over to the new building, and IT will be relocating all of the technology from the old building that we're repurposing in the new and adding more. So there's lots of activities that happen during the closure, everything from getting everything set up to ensuring staff are trained on all the new technology and the facility and safety around the facility, and then ramping up for their new programming. Remember, we're coming from a library that didn't have a community room, where we had to use space next door in a separate facility and pay for that, to a place where now we live in all the time. So more programs will be happening throughout the week, and more people being served. There are just beautiful settings where you sit and can look out on the landscaping, even on I-5, and be thankful that you're not on the road when it's backed up. But there's also just a lot of lovely spaces in spaces for all, from adults to teens to children. Every generation has a space in this library, and the staff too are moving from a closet where they literally had their office as a storage closet to having a work room. So they're not going to really know what to do. And so we're really excited, and we do hope everyone comes.
It's been a major undertaking, and certainly Dave Josephson, who is not here today, but is our Fleets and Facilities Director, has been key in managing throughout the project with our construction company Remick and our architects Hacker to make sure everything is done as it should be, and working through all the things we call change orders and punch list, et cetera. So his job's not quite done. I remind him all the time. We still have a few details to get in place, but we're well on our way. But then Jennifer Howen, the branch manager of Woodland, has worked tirelessly from the fundraising efforts with the friends and supporting them and the foundation to all the details that go into getting the library set up. So she has been a champion. She's spent hours and hours to ensure success and is now working with people like local artists to ensure that there's art displayed for opening and working with the team there for that. And then also we are finalizing our work on the children's artwork project, which is installed and ready to go. But we're working with WSU Vancouver with their senior seminar to bring that art project to life. And so there are students that are working on different apps that will help to describe the project, allow children to interact. I'm not going to give too much of a preview. I want you to come and learn all about it. But this is a really special thing, and Jennifer has been working hard on that connection with the school to make sure that comes to life, that artwork comes to life. And it's really special, and the story behind it is pretty fabulous. So all in all, we're happy, we're ready, and please come out on the 12th.
Before we move on to policy and nominating, I want to back up and just finish up the July 2024 financial statements. I didn't notice it's not on the agenda. So I skipped right over it.
Yeah.
Can I just do that now, or do I need to? Okay. So is there a motion to receive and file the July financial statements as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? I move this to a vote, please.
Coffee.
Aye.
Olga Hodges.
Aye.
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. So next up is the policy and nominating committee. We're going to move through about 4 action items. I hope everyone has read their packet since we had them early and has all your questions ready. But we'll start off with policy nominating committee election of vice chair, which is currently vacant.
I move to elect Olga Hodges to the position of vice chair.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? I move this to a vote, please.
Mary Coffee.
Aye.
Olga Hodges.
Aye.
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 Motion passes. The next part, you want to talk to us a little bit about the rest, Jennifer? Are you ready?
This is your second reading of policies for adoption. So today we would be looking for you to take action on these. The first is the Board of Trustees reimbursement policy, which, as I discussed with you last month, spells out more clearly reimbursement for the trustees regarding mileage, lodging, meals, and other expenses that are legal within your duties as Board of Trustee members. And looking for a motion to move that forward.
I kind of liked it with the old microphones because I could tell when someone pushed the button, they had something to say. Anyway. Is there a motion to adopt the board reimbursement policy as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, we can do a vote, please.
Coffee,
Aye.
Hodges,
Aye.
Morgan,
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next up is the public records request.
So this policy is a total rewrite of our current public records request policy to ensure compliance with state law and best practices. Has been looked at by legal and also the state attorney general's office. We believe that this brings us in compliance with public records requests, and I'm asking that you adopt this policy.
Is there a motion to adopt the public records request policy as presented?
Moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, any further discussion? We can take a vote, please.
Aye.
Hodges,
Aye.
Morgan,
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up is the resolution 2024-8 public disclosure indexing.
So this is a resolution that we're recommending because it's required under the law to declare public disclosure indexing as unduly burdensome as required by RCW 42.56.070. What this means is that we aren't required to create an index of every public record that's created within the library system because it would be unduly burdensome. We talked about that last time. Most public records requests that come in today are for records that are electronic, and we have systems in place for gathering and tracking those records. What we do not have is an index of every record that is created, and there is no possible way to do that. So in order to be in compliance with the law, I need you to adopt this resolution.
Is there a motion to adopt resolution 2024-8 public disclosure indexing as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All right, we can take a vote, please.
Aye.
Hodges,
Aye.
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next will be the Fort Vancouver Regional Library District Board of Trustees will now meet in executive session to discuss real estate as allowed by RCW 4230-110-1C. The Board of Trustees will be in executive session for 20 minutes or until a quarter after. So we'll come back at 5:15 until 5:15. We will leave, so you guys can all stay here this time and we'll step out of the room. I can't start early.
Never your words. Wow.
Yeah, so this means it's recording, right? I missed the announcement on these.
Yeah, if it's red, it's not. If it's like that, it's recording.
Yeah, they did show.
I can't start until a quarter after since that's what I said. So she stepped out for a second. She'll be right back.
Get started in just a few minutes, everyone online.
Can you tell me about the new system? This is recording all the time and that's the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it records
Okay.
everything.
Okay, currently being recorded. Stick with this.
Oh, I like that.
Just quick old fashioned.
Oh,
A great idea. I didn't know you could do that. To check and see if you are resident or non-resident for the people there. Wow. How many times did we do that, looking that up?
One.
That's that to go look at and see if you're. Do that. I didn't know you could go online and look and tell whether you were in or out. That's great.
We're waiting just 1 minute for a board member to return and then we'll get started.
now calling this meeting back to order. We'll move on with resolution 2024-9, surplus and sale of land. Is there a motion to adopt resolution 2024-9, surplus of land as presented?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? All right, I move this to a vote, please.
Frank Coffey,
Aye.
Olga Hodges,
Aye.
Morgan,
Aye.
Mary Williams.
Aye.
Motion to adopt resolution 2024-9, surplus of land is adopted. So we'll end with, are there any board comments tonight? Any board comments? I'll start off just by thanking Battleground Holland for having us. Thank you so much for putting together. Is Holland in? Oh, there you are. Thank you so much. Like the food, it was so beautiful. Thank you for having us today.
So.
Did you? It was wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else have a comment?
No, just thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Our next regular meeting will be Monday, October 21st, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Ridgefield Community Library and hybrid through Zoom. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Any objections? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.